Let's create a budget. Let's get out of debt. Let's build wealth. Guys, welcome back to the channel. As I've covered a lot of things in this step-by-step series, I wanted to do a review up to this point. So let's start from the beginning. You'll first create 2 checking accounts at the same bank or credit union. One will be your main account, which all income will go into, and the second checking account will be your budget account. If you currently have your income going into multiple accounts, redirect all income into your main checking account. Put the check card or debit card for this main account along with all your credit cards in a safe place. On the first of every month, you'll transfer your budget from your main account to your second checking account or your budget account. So at the first of every month, your budget will now be that second checking account, which you'll use for your everyday expenses. Next, write out your plan. This should include your budget, your debt plan, and your wealth plan. And once you have your plan written out, you'll need to get your 4 major numbers. Most people will say 3 major numbers, but I include budget. So this will include your income, your expenses, your cash flow, and your budget. Budget is just another number that you get after you've figured out your expenses, what you're going to put into your bank, and then you'll have your budget amount. To get your income, pull up 3 months worth of bank statements or wherever you have your checks deposited to. Take a monthly average of those 3 months. Once you have decided your income, enter it in the income field. To get your expenses, pull up your bank statements. Be sure to include multiple banks if you had them. Your credit card statements. Make sure to track all spending from all credit cards and any other statements you may have used in the last 3 months to spend money. So once you've gathered 3 months worth of spending, so once you gather all your bank statements, credit cards, or wherever you are using to spend money in the last 3 months, write down your expenses and their amounts. So once you have all expenses written down, then go through the list and see if there's anything that you can cut back on. Remember, if you are always spending money without thought, then the expenses are probably pretty high. And the reason for this is a lot of people will spend money if they didn't have any written goals. And now that you have goals that you're working towards, then ask yourself, are there some things on this list that you don't really need? So once you have everything taken off that you possibly can, it's now time to form your budget. So things like gas, grocery, entertainment, miscellaneous things like Starbucks, convenience store purchases, etc. Get the total amount of these and move them up to your budget field. Once you have moved them up to your budget field, delete these items from your bill list. So these are things that, that's never the same. You stop on a whim or you go in, you're going to create your budget from this list. Things like gas and groceries, all of these will go into your budget account and that'll be separated from your main account. And remember, the first time you create your budget account, add an extra amount to that account. This will be your zero balance in that account. For example, let's say your budget's $7,000. On the initial transfer, you could transfer $7,500. This means that $500 will be your 0 point for this account. So So if you have $499 or less in this account, you're in a negative and you need to bring it back to $500 as soon as possible. This is just a buffer so you never go negative in this account. And that's going to be important, guys, because if you want to use leverage in the future, you got to make sure that you don't have any negative things on your report. So once you have your budget amount, you need to start your bank. The infinite banking concept, if you're not familiar with it, you can see in other videos. And once you decide on your MEC limit, if you have the money to max out the bank, go ahead and do that. If you do not have the money to max it out, here is where you'll add another expense to your list, and you could call it bank payment, policy loan, something like that. And remember, guys, you always need to keep a positive cash flow. So that should help determine what to set your bank at by how much you have left after your expenses, after your budget, and the remaining amount. And as long as you can keep a positive cash flow, you'll know what to set your bank at. So once you have these numbers, you will now know your total expenses and your cash flow numbers. So it will now be time to start building wealth. To build wealth, you would just follow a simple flow chart. Your income will go into the main checking account. Your income will then go into your line of credit. And when you are ready to chunk at debt, it will go from the line of credit to your debt. Once all of your bad debt is gone, it will then go to good debt. The good debt will produce income, and it will continue this flow. Your expenses will come out of your account as needed. Remember, there are three main expenses: your everyday expenses, your budget, and your bank. If the flow is ever interrupted, borrow from your bank and keep the flow going. To become wealthy, there is only two steps: to get out of debt and to build passive income. Let's simplify the flow. To get out of debt, your income will go into the debt tool. And then when you're ready to chunk it to debt until you have no more debt. To build wealth, your income will go into the debt tool. When you are ready, you buy assets. Those assets will produce income, and you can repeat this flow to infinity. So guys, what is the secret of becoming wealthy? It's your understanding of the word debt. If you do not master it, it will become your master. A lot of poor and middle class people bash the wealthy. It's because they do not understand both the poor and the rich have debt. It's just a lack in understanding of debt that separates them. Separated by two sides, the left and the right, the only way to move from the left to the right is knowledge and understanding. Creating a budget and getting out of debt alone will not create wealth. Most people who've had debt all their life, once they get out of debt, they try their hardest not to have any more debt. The wealthy understand debt. They know how to use it. This is what you must do if you want to become wealthy. Big companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Tesla, they all have debt. Are they trying to get rid of the debt? No, they're using the debt to push America forward through creating new technologies, creating jobs, and innovation. Knowledge and wisdom should be a never-ending goal of yours. If you've never read, give it a try. Just one day decide to do it and see what the results are. It'll become addictive to you. I know there's people struggling everywhere. Just take an hour, forget about your current situation, find a quiet place to read. I think you'll be surprised by the results. Remember always, Whether you believe in God or not, Jesus loves you. Guys, thank you for watching this video. If you found value in it, I appreciate a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.